Building is in fact very beautiful, and it feels like we're in New York City when we're in the space. It feels very sophisticated. It is a gorgeous building, but whenever I am in it and there are no students here, it just feels still like a beautiful building. It's the kids who bring life to the space. The community of GCAA includes all of the players, and by that I mean it's the students, very active parent organization, which is uncommon at a middle school and high school level. You rarely see such active parent participation at that level. You see it a lot at the elementary level, but they tend to back off and just let their kids do their thing. Our parents are very involved. Our students come from all over the city of St. Louis, as well as part of St. Louis County. So the community they have with each other is in this space. They don't go home and be able to hang out with some of their Grand Center Arts Academy friends at downtown Kirkwood, for example, because probably only 2 or 3 are from that area. So it's a very social environment for them here as well, where lunch is very chatty and social. This is where they hang out with their friends too. That is a contributing factor to the sense of community that we have. But I would include the faculty, which this is rare as someone who's been a principal in other schools. Principals inherit faculty from previous principals. Some of those times, too often, sometimes the faculty some of them don't want to be there. So to have a place where the entire building is filled with adults who really want to be here every day changes everything. I can't even begin to describe the difference of what that feels like to have the adults who really want to walk into the space every day. And our community and arts partners, because of our location in the middle of the Arts District, we have, you name any organization down here and we can tell you what we've already done with them, what we have planned for the future. There are all kinds of partnerships that we are getting the benefit of having them in our backyard, so to speak. So the community is a big one. It's not just one piece of it. We're each party is very important to the fabric of the community that we're building. We have so many creative students in the St. Louis region, and we really needed a place where they could come and explore all that creative side of themselves, but at the same time discover new things within them. We also know that arts, there are lots of research areas that look at how the arts impact learning in other fields, like on the academic side. We know that there is a direct correlation. What's a bit different here is that we're not using the arts to get to an end on the academic side. We really are an academic school that also offers very strenuous and focused arts education. So the arts are why the kids come to us, but what we're noticing is that it increases their attendance. They want to be here all the time. They want to be with their friends. So by tying the arts side of their life to the academic side, we also can say if the GPA is slipping on the academic side, there are ways on the arts side to reinforce what you're doing, or for example, not allowing a student to be in a performance if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing in a chemistry class, for example. So they really go very neatly together. So we're not using the arts to get to the other end, but it's clearly sort of becoming this tapestry of codependence that the academics are getting ever stronger and higher with the kids, especially those who've come in maybe with some deficits in their training prior to coming to us. So the end game is to have these wonderful graduates who are capable and confident to take on whatever their post-high school careers will be. Our children, we're all assuming they're all going to college, so all of the academic classes are geared for that. But what we're also noticing is that by allowing students to explore their creative side, they might come in as a singer. They discover that they actually are also very good at theater. They might discover that they're a dancer and never knew it. What we're seeing is this incredible growth in their confidence about everything that they encounter. Because when they start experiencing success in their hard work and finding out that they are capable at many things, it just increases confidence. In fact, that's one of the things we're hearing consistently now that we're starting year 4 with many of our families, is that their child has become almost a young person that they don't recognize, but it's in a good way. They might have been incredibly shy, or they were only a one hit kind of a student who only was a singer. And because they're expanding their world, they're noticing that they have a lot of confidence in everything that they attempt, whether it's now learning how to cook dinner for the family, or yes, they can actually conquer geometry and it's not going to demoralize them because they used to think they couldn't do it. So that's a byproduct that is, it's what the arts are bringing out in our students, but it's also the attitude and the sort of the atmosphere that we're creating to take risks and try new things. So one of the reasons I really wanted to create this kind of a school was also because I know that students who are highly creative are sometimes different, and they're viewed as different in what I would call regular schools. And sometimes those creative students don't feel like they can become everything they are because difference is treated with indifference, or it's treated as they're bullied. That's just flat out, they're just bullied because they're different than the norm. And so I knew that we have so many students in all of our schools that fall into that category that don't feel safe to be there. I call it, we love quirky here. We love thinking that's very different. And so we celebrate it rather than have this sense of like, what's up with that kid? I mean, I know it's why our students are so happy here, because they have found a place where they can wear the weirdest clothes and they can think very differently in a response to a discussion in an English 2 class, and the rest aren't going to look at them like they don't understand. That's actually what those kids are, and they need a place where they can do that and be made to feel that they're wonderful, they're fabulous in the skin that they're in. And so I knew that we did not have a place for students like that, and I needed to create one for them. And those students found us. It's why we have over 85 sending schools. It's why we have students who are coming from great schools. It's not necessarily about how deficit or how great the sending school is. They want to be where they can be who they are and not be made to feel strange or weird about it. So we think difference is just fabulous. We love it. What I do every day is, this sounds maybe dramatic, but I feel like what I do every day is be an instrument of changing kids' lives for the better. It's what gets me up every day, and there are so many stories that we could share about students who, it's back to discovering something in them that they didn't know was there. Students who had no idea that they are an incredible cello player already, or a student who is a fabulous actor and never knew it. So when I say changing lives, I mean without knowing that about themselves, who knows what their choices would be down the road as they are, and now that we're in high school. I know some of these students and what they have to surmount even to get here every day. And I know that what we're providing for them is an opportunity for a life that is whatever they want it to be, because they're gaining confidence about their abilities. So truly, to me, I know it's an art school and it's about creating a school, but it is about what's happening and the impact it has on the student lives. It's especially when it gets really difficult and challenging, and when it comes to making sure that it's the right faculty. Our students deserve the absolute best that I can find, and it helps make decisions. If every decision I make as a school leader is what is best for students, then everything starts to become clear about what do I have to do next in a particular challenging situation. It always has been about what's best for students. So they really do get me up every day. I even find that when I'm bogged down with paperwork or reports and I'm sitting at my computer in my office and I find myself starting to get crankier and crankier and crankier, I know that the solution is to get up and go out and just be in the milieu of students. Whether it's 6th graders or 10th graders, it doesn't even matter. There's something about looking at their faces, seeing their excitement, their complete delight of being in this space where they're recognized, challenged, they feel safe, and they're trying new things. It's truly, it gets me back to the right space in my head, and I can go back and do all the other stuff that I really don't want to do. but have to do. So. And we're not a conservatory model, so we're not training every single student to have a profession to be in the arts. However, some of our students want that and are talented enough that they can do that. So we have sort of parallel things going on. We have that particular track of students who we need to help the dancer who really does have the desire and the talent and the focus to eventually get into Juilliard to dance. But we also have students who know that they want to go into a medical field or they want to be an engineer, but they happen to be a fabulously talented actor. So we still don't lower the expectations of the art instruction, because that same student who knows he or she wants to be an engineer, they deserve the best quality instruction in the arts that the student who wants to go on to Juilliard receives. So in some ways it's not two different things we're talking about, but we do know that the end product, students will make different choices. I remember about 4 or 5 years ago when I was working in with an arts integration grant, and one of the partners when I was with an organization was Boeing, who's a very supportive company for arts and understand why they have to be, it's a necessary part of our education. And one of the things I remember them saying was that when they hire engineers, they want engineers who have already coming in with multiple perspectives, looking at a challenge and knowing that there are many ways to look at that. They know how to problem solve, they know how to team together to sort of get to the pulling apart a challenge and creating a solution. That is a completely arts approach to how we look at life. So when we are graduating students who do want to be an engineer, to have already experienced what that's like, to understand what it means to do a critique, to know what's the best of something and being able to give language to how to make some decisions about that, how to problem solve, those are life skills, whether the student ends up going to be a doctor or goes to Chicago Institute, Art Institute for Visual Art. It's not even a skill, it's a way of being who they are in life that's dramatically changed. So what they do with it will prepare them for whatever that is, but they're going to be great people and live a fuller life because of an arts education.